Tom Isaac gave me a call the other day. Is Tom here? Still here? There he is. I didn't see him behind that. Gave me a call on evidently somebody had made Tom aware of an agreed order that Nelson Fiscal Court county judge, actually he says the county judge here, entered into an agreement with the environmental cabinet. And in order to make you guys have been aware of an ongoing disagreement or misunderstanding that the state and the county has had on some permitting requirements for putting in a couple of road culverts and replacing some bridges. Over the years, been judged 16, 17 years now, there's been, I guess, some changes made in the personnel in the Division of Water over the years, and the school of thought somewhat changes sometimes, and when a permit is required, when it's not required. And right now, there were about 4 or 5 notices of violation. You understand, a notice of violation is technically, it's a ticket, and I'll put it in simple terms, a ticket you get for doing something that somebody says you've broken a rule or regulation on. We've gotten clearance letters on all of those projects, and in fact the clearance letters that basically state that the permit would not have been required in most of those, with the exception of one, maybe I think it was one bridge.
There's 2 that permit wasn't required anyway, so they don't be shouldn't have been issued, in my opinion.
Yeah.
3 of them, they said, yeah, we should have got a permit. However, before we began work, we would have gotten a permit, therefore no harm was done. And that the Division of Water would not pursue any other remedial measures or enforcement actions. Is how the letters are written on the 3 of them. So anyway, but the agreed order we agreed to.
Well, I've talked to over this period of time. I've talked to probably 30 or 40 county judges and magistrates at conferences that I've attended, and none of the most of the guys and girls that are judges do exactly like we're doing. You got a culvert needs replacing, as long as you're not disturbing the or replacing a new site, you just replace it. And the state's fully aware of that. So we've decided to work together with the Division of Water on a training at our KCO conference on November the 17th. That resulted in what we call an agreed order. We agreed to do this as a way for those notices of violations to go away off their record books, basically. There's no fines imposed because we've gotten clearance on them. And some people want to make a big scene out of something that you try to cut through bureaucrat stuff that you have to deal with from time to time. We've gone through training on this over the years. You think you know what you're doing, and the interpretation becomes different with a new administration or a new. Frankfurt's had a lot of retirees over the last 15 years, a lot of attrition in personnel. And that has caused, I think, some of this to happen, and the state recognizes this. So we've agreed to do, Jim and Brad and I have sat down, we're coming up with a bullet point list. And the state's going to meet, we're going to meet with them in October, and then be prepared for a, what they call roundtable discussion that the judges and magistrates have at these conferences. There are educational components that we go to. So we're going to try to get everybody going on the same page, same direction. The state thought that was a good idea because of the way this process came down, and it took almost 2 years, a year and a half to get this resolved. Guys have any question on that?
The only comment I would have rather have known before it was gotten to the media's hands.
Yeah, I understand.
Personally.
These permits, guys, they typically want files to replace culverts and bridges, okay? All right, so we'll do that now. I submitted one in June on Flats Road, 48-inch culvert that's rusted completely out. And I just got called yesterday that they are reviewing the application. That could take months,
And she told us that day it would take 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
So and in the past, we've also had guidance, like Steen said, you talk to different people and they retire. If it's an existing culvert, existing bridge, you didn't need a permit.
You didn't need a permit.
And all the counties do but.
We want something in writing from the division.
I guess 4 or 5 months ago, they decided to say, all right, well, it's worded this way, you gotta have permits. So they start writing NOVs, and we're not the only county they've written NOVs on, they write NOVs on a lot of counties now. All counties have to now decide to fill out this permit. It's not a real simple permit. You gotta get USG math coordinates, you gotta come up with hydraulic evaluations, you gotta do this and this and this. Brad and I can do that in this county. The bridge has to be designed, the hydraulics have to work, those can be done here, but it's tough for counties to do that stuff. They gotta hire engineers and stuff to do all that stuff.
Sam, you do realize this agreed order is between the Environmental and Protection Cabinet and the county judge. It's technically not fiscal court, and you would have gotten a copy of that eventually. And technically,
I just would rather know.
Technically, it's not
it's
not an agreed deal because they haven't signed off on it.
Right.
But they put you under the gun to do this, to get it off their books. They're trying to clean up a lot of these little miscellaneous things in Frankfurt to understand. Okay? Anybody else have anything for the court today?
Sounds to me like, Dean, you need to go to Frankfurt and tell them what to do. You need to round table all with the admin rules.
Okay? Motion to adjourn, please. Motion from Jerry to adjourn, second by Mayor Wimson. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove. Motion carries. Thank you.